Testing, testing, testing. So now that the microphone is finally working, we'll cover some of testing. Some teams to note that are not here in testing. We've went over it a couple times. UER is not here. Ryzen Group's not here. Joseph Strigley Racing's not here. They don't have cars. Neither is the 25 Events Freeze. None of them had a car for testing, and none of them are out there. We have part-time cars out there testing right now, and 47 minutes on the clock. Jesse Turner is the quickest by just about a little over a tenth over Samuel England. Then it's Dejon Weeks, Dylan Schwellenberg, James Shelley, Alex Benyako, Eric Damax, Cody Lamas, Jeffrey White, and Zayden Davidson. This is the entry list for anyone that is interested and wants to know who is all competing and running laps for today at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Atlanta Motor Speedway will play host to the season finale for 2022. And so teams want to desperately make laps and get all the knowledge and experience they want and need when it comes time to the finale for next season. As we scroll down the list, some teams, you notice some part-time entries. There's Jack Halleck down there, Amanda Evans, Edward Ziemba, and also Ace Wilds in this, along with the last year's Hardy's National Series, Kev Shear. Hardy's National Series champion, Kev Shear, in the one car. And Shear, I'm not entirely sure where he's at on the timesheet. His teammates are in the top 10. He's in 22nd, just about midway through the pack. And then Cole Baker, also a young protege that's coming up through the ranks. In the third Cybertron Motorsports entry with Mercedes. Mercedes and Pontiac are getting your first look of the Mercedes and Pontiac. Looking for the Pontiac, actually. Haven't even got to one yet. There's the fastest one. Samuel England, second best right now. England won the Napa Truck Series, or Napa Pro Series Championship in 2019. England got the call up to Red Bull Racing in the 2021 season. So close to being Rookie of the Year, just fell short to Jeffrey White. White's also having a decent run in testing, looking for car 11. I don't even think he's out there. If he is, I've missed him. There he is. White has been bumped down the order some just now, outside the top 10. Chevy really struggled near the end of last season. And with the way championships have fell, everyone is predicting Chevy to bounce back. It has been championships for Ford and Chevy all through the modern era. 2015, it was Ford. 2016, Chevy. 2017, Ford. 2018, Chevy. 2019, Ford. 2020, Chevy. 2021, Ford. And 2022, well, you see the pattern, and everyone has pointed it out. And they believe Chevy's going to bounce back. But all we're getting a glimpse of is testing so far. And the CM Racing lineup, dare I say, be one of the best on the grid. We have Ryan Griffin, Alex Benyako, and Eric Damax. Full-time drivers, all three of them. And with the new rules changes for 2023, which means teams won't be able to field more than 2 cars full-time for an organization, means that one of those star drivers, at least, will have to move on somewhere else. That's the same thing that goes with teams like Turn Performance Racing, Cybertron Motorsports, and it's crazy to even be thinking about next season already, and we're just now starting the 2022 season, but those are the headlines going into 2022. We're going to have to cover that all year long, but the biggest news headline that everybody will be wondering and curious tuning in is where is everybody in terms of speed. As we look at the timesheets, it is still the defending champion who just won the championship for the second time in his career. Turner, 10 wins in 2021. He's out front by a 10th over Samuel England. He was testing at another 1.5-mile track in Charlotte a couple weeks ago, and Turner was quickest, and he's still quickest at Atlanta. Jesse Turner looks to try to defend his title into 2022, but he's got some young guns behind him. England, Weeks, Schwellenberg. Curtis is an old veteran as well. He could have won the title and really should have got runner-up in the championship, but things just did not go his way. Shelley, Benyako, Damax, Rodriguez, Lamas. That makes up the top 10. Then you see White, Davidson, Bassinger, Griffin, Sanford, Marchese, Young, Arndt, Roush, and Goss. Goss and Jones are getting basically a lot of help from Cybertron Motorsports, and it's really impressive to see both of them cars in the mid-pack, really. Right there, 20th and 21st. The Nick Mason team, they're hopeful that something can go right for them. They've been working on this package for a very long time. And they're 22nd and 25th. Not as high as I think they would really want to be. I think they'd want to be up there with Benyako and Damax. Dodd, and then you see Logan Cloud with Great Lakes Motorsports sporting a Pontiac for this season. I'm just really impressed that it's Logan Cloud that's running as strongly as he is in 26, ahead of Cole Baker and Season 6 champion Dom Capps. Daniel Bouchard and Richard Johnson for MER and Red Bull Racing down there 29th and 30th. Bobo Jones, very close to winning the Hardee's National Series Championship last season. Really gave Kev Shear a good fight down to the very end, but Jones just came up short. Jones, that team does not have a full-time driver for next season just yet, but Jones is in the 33 testing. And that's him to the left of the 56 on track with England and Damax just behind with Mitchell Collins. Halleck, probably one of many that's going to be driving this 77 car all throughout of 2022. He's testing the car. Then it's Allison Rain in 33rd. Edward Ziemba. Ooh, man, was that nearly contact? 33, Bobo Jones trying to get to pit road. Edward Ziemba in 34th. Peter Onjak in his first full-time gig. He's driving the Team Velocity car, which was basically the 98 from last season. Matt DeLeo, affiliate teammate to the Allen Family Racing Team cars. Basically a third AFRT car. He's in 36. Full-time season for DeLeo for the first time in a while. Mitchell Collins got that full-time gig after making a good bit of races for that team in 2021. Ace Wild in the 4 car. Teammate to Onjak in this. And Roush really way up the order. Good run for him in testing so far. Hayden Klein, that team is basically almost like the 90 car from last season, but it's Spartan Motorsports, which was Hydra Motorsports. Halleck's way up the running order. Klein's a little ways back, about 3/10 off Klein is to his teammate. Zachary Fitzwater, 62-year-old Zachary Fitzwater, will be 63 next year. Then Stephen Paul III, and then Amanda Evans. Let's see here. Give us 1 second. I think I'm going to have that work. So we're back. Got ourselves a guest in the booth now. Same guy that was with me in the test. Got Dejon Weeks up here.
Oh, man. Time to have fun.
And a couple others.
Oh, did you change? You had them change the number font for the what you call it for your team.
Actually, we wasn't going to run that. It's the wrong number font, but we're just gonna roll with it. This is the old Ferrari number font, and it's not what actually we're gonna run. And Dodd, I don't know what he was doing. He just painted it because that's what we ran in 2020.
That's your testing numbers from now on.
Bouchard 29th though. Not as high as I would want him to be, but he's all right. Oh my gosh, sheer way off the
That
pace.
is so slow.
Oh my goodness. And then Hayden Klein. Oh, he's gonna go to the outside of Peter Onjak.
Klein in the 68. What car is that?
That's a Spartan car, which is the old Hydra car. He's in 39th though. That team's got some time they need to make up. And that's the old 98 car. Hero Motorsports, which is now Team Velocity. Peter Onjak. Oh, here comes Dodd with a hell of a run.
And he ain't as fast as that 30 though. That's all I can say.
They're 3 wide up here, trying to get around Stephen Pollard III.
Bobby Jones, man. I wish he would have stayed with the team.
Bobby Jones, he's up here testing. He's in the 63.
Yeah, man. Unfortunate.
He's right there with Will Goss too. Goss is
Him or Griffin, either one, but it's alright. We move.
They're both in the same spot. 20th and 21st. Goss and Jones.
Bobby will be winning races this year. Sad.
MER looks really quick, especially with Dejon.
Hey man, we gonna get Tib that seat time. He's gonna be great next year. Okay?
I had
Tibb's
completely
gonna be
forgot that Tip was gonna be the test driver.
That's okay. He's at the track. He's learning. It's okay.
Jesse Turner, just like Charlotte here at Atlanta. Blistering pace. Got like a 10th over the next car, then 2 tenths on 3rd place. Then 3 tenths on the 6th.
Hey man, no comment about this man.
Well, Will Goss is running him down. Here comes Will Goss. Older tires on the 17, but Will Goss in that flip side car. Tire wear is going to be a big factor. I'm really excited about Atlanta being the season finale for 2022. It's going to be such a good race. We were robbed of such a good race.
Hey man.
We were robbed of a good race in 2021.
We don't speak on that race. We don't speak on that race.
Will Goss makes that pass. Vince Freeze was going to be in this, but there was a problem with his car, so I didn't get his, but I got Caps. Oh man, Goss is just hauling.
Speaking of that team, I need to paint those cars.
I don't see any changes inside the top 10. There's no real changes at all, really. Let's look, see if we got somebody else. I'm really impressed with Logan Cloud and Great Lakes, though. In 26. He's really slow on the track, though. He's like running 32-second lap times. Man, Evans and team, you know, they failed to qualify for every race they attempted last year. And they're only four 1,000ths off of Stephen Pollard III and only a couple hundredths off of Fitzwater.
Mace Enterprises, the retirement home.
Oh, Mace Enterprises.
Really old drivers.
They 22nd and 25th. Ryan Acosta. Dylan Young 18th. Acosta 25th right now. Young was the only one that didn't win a race with TPR last season. And with the storylines going into 2022, like, who's going to be quick, who's not? And then you also have to look forward to 2023. like who's going to be getting the nod and who's going to be getting the bump as far as seats are concerned, with everybody getting at least downgraded from at least 4 or 3 full-time cars to 2 cars per organization. And Young may be on the outside of that.
You know, I offered Young a seat at MER, I think, what, 2 seasons ago technically now?
Young's a solid driver. He always runs well, and he's very consistent. It's just
He don't win.
he doesn't
Unless it's handed to him.
he doesn't really win races all that often. North Wilkesboro he won, but that was under ridiculous circumstances when he won in 2020. Will be 63 years old in 2022, Zachary Fitzwater. He's still kicking it.
Oh my lord, he's gonna hit the wall and turn to dust.
He's a second and a half off of Jesse Turner's lap.
Hey man, Fisher, you should have stayed in the cup car, man. You should have. That's unfortunate.
This team, it's a good thing this car is locked in for next season for the first 4 races. They needed the they needed the charters. They needed the charters to come a little soon.
Yeah, they were a year off of charters, unfortunately. Hey man, don't be surprised you see a driver swap mid-season. I wouldn't be surprised.
I was thinking about it. Allison Rain's done well in testing so far with Fitzwater Racing Team. 33rd. Got Weeks to the outside, Wild to the inside. Rain's faster than Wild, but that's a 3rd team velocity car. Oh my God. Freaking Weeks just drove right around him and flew by him.
Hey man, we're gonna be nice.
Sanford's 15th, his teammate's 2nd. His other teammate is 29th, no 30th. Oh my God.
Jesus. See the tires.
These tire wear.
Nobody's gonna have a clean lap now.
DJ coming out with Mercedes. Breeding Enterprises, basically the 45 from last year almost. I say basically, it's still a breeding car, but that team, the team that was the 45 is basically going over to help the 88. And they're working with the Technical Alliance, so they should be a little better with Matt DeLeo in the car. No, DeLeo's won a couple races, so he's a decent little driver for that team to have.
How old is he though?
I think DeLeo's now in his 30s. Ooh! Bouchard trying to go around Evans and Caps. And then DeLeo. Jones trying to throw a block. Bobo Jones. Runner-up in the championship last season. Bouchard in his Pontiac. Diving it almost into the apron. Evans is on old tires. Amanda Evans will be running a part-time schedule. Hoping to make a race this time. Didn't make any races last season.
He was actually only 28. That's actually surprising. Thought he was gonna be really old.
Dom Caps to the outside. Teammate Vince Freeze on the box. Not out there on the track. The 30 car's got legs out there right now. 30 from midway in turn 1. I don't even know where they're, like nearly half a straightaway, like a whole straightaway. Back to the 4 and the 29, which they are slow right now. Shelly's really quick. Still no changes inside the top 10. Richard's up to 20th now, though. Where's he at? There he is.
21?
21, Stephen Paul III.
That's DeMax's team, yeah, okay.
Basically the
24.
Yeah.
And that team's full time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're full time.
I think they sold the truck team to somebody.
And they were gonna get Cybertron Motorsports' equipment from the 2021 season. Equipment that's outdated, though.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And Pollard, he's, you know, his lap's just barely good enough to be ahead of last, but that team's just trying to get data, long run speed.
Pollard's also 53. He's getting up there. He
Oh!
hits 48, but
Hey, John Week said he
wait,
ain't
man.
got time.
man, get out of the way, man. I gotta go fast. Actually, I just set up new fastest lap that time, but I didn't go anywhere though. I got it.
Oh no, you didn't.
I lied. One digit.
Bobo Jones right there in the 33, though. I wonder what this schedule's gonna look like for the 33. This team's gonna probably enter a part-time car as well, and they can't even really field a full-time car with a full-time driver with the 33. I thought for a long time they would just field that car with the Hardy's National Series drivers, but
That's one of the open rides, huh?
yeah, it's the only full-time car left eligible to grab.
Interesting.
Kev Shear's got fresh tires. I wonder how he's gonna do this lap. Still no change really in the top 20. Caps is 29th. Baker 26. Kev Shear in the one car. CM Racing's going to probably be helping out Shade Benyako a lot for the 2022 season, so that team can get a charter for 2023, the highest car and owner points. The highest part-time car and owner points that is eligible to field an extra full-time car will get that final charter.
Oh yeah, but that's also not counting in like teams that are going to be downsized and whatnot, right?
Yeah, that's like if MER fielded a third, or like a part-time car. You know, they already have 2 full-time cars, so they couldn't get it. So it would be the next car in line that's not like MER or not like Rodriguez Racing or something. So teams like Shade Benyako and Flipside, you know, I would assume those are going to be the teams to look out for that's going to try and get the 38th and final charter. There's no real changes mid-pack.
Speaking of Shade Benyako, that new alliance with CMKR and Shade Benyako, Skytech Racing Alliance, they got a stacked like class of development drivers. I mean, but they ain't got enough. I don't know if they're gonna have enough room to get those guys all up to Cup. That's a lot of drivers they have.
They have a stacked group in the Cub level, really. Like, you have Demax, Griffin, and Benyako. Like, them 3 to pick for 2 spots, and that's not even counting their drivers in H&S. That's like,
And NTS.
for for Shear and Krasta, Eves, and
Butcher's one of them. Ellison's one of them.
that's a lot of drivers.
And only 4 spots. Technically. I don't see them dropping Benyako. And I think they might keep the Max or Griffin, either one. You can't literally, they're 2 of the best drivers, or 2 of the top 10 drivers in the series. So I mean,
I couldn't. Ooh, England about got turned by Ziemba.
should have turned them.
Ziemba.
And I want to see it crash. No, it's not because of Red Bull.
Who did Ziemba sign for this coming up H&S season? Ziemba drove for Ford, I thought, at the end for 2021.
Let's see.
So he's in a Toyota here.
Let's see. Spartan. Where is he at?
He must
I
have
can
went. He
only
must
see
have went. He must have went to Napa Truck Series.
Yeah, I don't see him in the NTS or the HNS.
Cause Ziambo. Yep, he went to Anjado for a full-time gig in the 80 for NTS.
That's a good ride.
That's gonna be a good seat for Edward Ziemba. Ziemba's got some experience with some good teams. You know, he drove for Rodriguez. I'm pretty sure he drove for Hydra.
It's another young driver that I offered and declined my offer. Fortunately.
I think he's ahead of Mitchell Collins right now. Yep, he's ahead of Mitchell Collins, the team car to this. The 80 always seemed to do a whole lot better in the 70, but the driver that made most of the races in the 80 last year is now in the 70. Mitchell Collins in that full-time car.
Oh, that's not counting Butcher's like 20 times he was one spot off of making the race.
Butcher was really close a lot of the time. Scott Roush in a full-time car, which is the first time in a long time in the Sony Cup Series. And he's doing a lot better than I expected. Roush to get up to speed a lot quicker than Onjack and Wild. And he's like mid-pack right now with Team Velocity. And I think he's just a couple spots, yeah, like less than a tenth off of Dylan Young is Roush. So he's not far off the main team right now in speed.
That's good to see. That team was that team's always had Turner support, but speed was literally nowhere for the last 10 years.
Anthony Marchese, the 2020 Hardee's National Series champion. He's on old tires, but he's 17th. There's been a wreck in turn 4. A big crash, too. Oh, no.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
Mace. Mace cut over on Curtis. And then, the game crashed. What the hell?
GG's.
We hate to see it.
See, that's tough. Technical difficulty.